Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Research and Design Build. And today we're going to be going over epoxy coating your garage floor. So the first step is surface preparation. Now, I've got a brand new slab here, probably only a few weeks old at this point, and some of my issues that I'm contending with are probably a little different than some of you, but nonetheless, surface preparation is the first step. For myself, I needed to get off the smooth surface that was left from the power trowel. So I've got to rough that up. And this is just a floor buffer, essentially. It was rented from Home Depot. And they've got some surface preparation pads that go on the bottom of it with some diamond bits. And that's just giving that surface a rough finish, like a very coarse grit sandpaper would. And this is going to allow the epoxy to bond to that. Now, if you've got an old or existing slab that you're trying to do, same things would apply. You're just trying to get that really clean, rough surface and get any of the oil or old paint or anything like that removed. The next step is to apply a product into the expansion control joints. So these are the joints that the concrete contractor would have cut in to allow for some movement in the slab so that you don't have random cracks throughout. So I went with a product from Sika called Load Flex 524EZ. So this is like a two-part product, and you do need a special caulking gun for that, which I borrowed from the store. Now, this is an industrial product. I'm sure there's others out there in the market that can be used that are more DIY friendly perhaps, but my local concrete specialty store had this product available, and I did want to go with a higher end product, something that would be used typically in commercial or industrial applications, because I did want something that lasted a long time. I didn't want to be coming back and touching this up. So this is designed for warehouses and stuff like that, where you're going to have forklifts and things like that driving along. You have to move very quickly when applying it, because it does, it being a two-part, and then there's a mixing nozzle. You've only got a few seconds of that product actually mixed in the nozzle before it solidifies. So move very quickly, make sure you've got all your joints cleaned out and that everything's good to go, and then put on your tip and start going. I would highly recommend getting a couple extra tips. I did end up plugging off the first one just because I was not prepared for how quickly I needed to move to get this product down. You do fill the joint up fully with a little bit sort of bridging over the top, and then you come back, I think it was about half an hour later, with an X-Acto knife and trim off any of the excess sort of overflow and trim that flat. So now we've cleaned up, we've got that Load Flex cut back flat to the slab, and we've got everything vacuumed out. I can't stress enough how clean you need to get it. Any little pebble or anything that comes down now is going to get stuck in the product as you're putting it down, and you're going to fight with it. This isn't like getting a hair or something like that on your wall when you're painting it, and you can kind of hit it with your fingernail or something like that and get it off. This is going to be difficult with the speed in which you have to put it down. So if you do have little pebbles or any dirt, it's going to be visible. It's going to work itself into the product and going to be very challenging and frustrating for you. So here I am, I'm just going around the edges and doing the edges first. I did take too much time doing the edges, and this product as a two-part epoxy does cure through heat basically, and so it heats up just on itself and gets very hot. So on that last trip back to the bucket, I noticed that the pail was getting quite warm, and that's why I put it down in quite a hurry in front of that garage door on the left. That did leave a couple of spots where the product was almost too thick for me to roll out properly. But you'll see, you've only got 20 minutes or so per can, and so you're putting it down at quite a good rate, and that's why I'm using a squeegee to get the bulk of the product down quickly, and then I'm going in with a roller to try to finish that off and smooth that out. So again, this product is from Sika. It's a Sikafloor 261, and I did it in agate gray. They do have other colors available. However, this is one of the more standard colors that they have available, or at least my supplier does. And this is again an industrial, commercial type product. It is not the cheap versions that you'll see at Home Depot. Much thicker product. You put this on in 2 stages, so there's a first coat and a second coat. But again, the durability of this product, being designed for those commercial and industrial type applications, your warehouses, food processing plants, and the surface in the food processing plant itself, very high quality product, and something that's going to last for a number of years if applied correctly. So here we are on day 2, applying the second coat. You've got to put this down, I believe, within 24 hours of the first coat to ensure that you've got a good bond between the 2 coats. Anytime after that and it's set up too much, then you're going to be looking at having to resand and get a surface that the 2 layers can bond together. So same process as the first, pour it onto the floor, squeegee it around, and then go back with a roller to maintain a sort of a consistent smoothness across. Want to be going as quickly as possible. Again, the product does sort of self-level to a certain degree if you are putting it down fresh and it hasn't sort of started to set up. You'll notice as you get towards the end of a pail that it will become a little bit more difficult to work with. So definitely the faster you can go, the better surface finish you're going to get out of this product. You will also notice that I've had the garage doors open a little crack. This is just so I can get right to the edge of the pad and right to the start of the driveway. Now I do have some 2x4s down there and some poly to prevent any debris from blowing in from the outside. So fast forward a year and a half, and a little bit of an update here, just showing how easy it is to clean. Canadian winters not being so kind as far as all the stuff that your car brings in from all your road travel. But the product that I picked is quite smooth, and so it doesn't give a lot of room for all the sand, gravel, and dirt and mud to come in and stick to. So with some pressure washing, it cleans up quite nicely. Had no real discoloration and that sort of thing of the floor. It's been very good that way. So yeah, just basic pressure washing. I haven't had any issues with peeling or anything like that. Oil, grease, none of that discolors it or causes any issues that way. So it has been great. Yeah, no real concerns there. Year and a half in, don't have any wear, especially where car tires are going and that sort of thing. I have had a couple of chips show up, but only through me dropping things onto the floor, and some concrete has come up with those chips. So again, not the coatings issue, more of the concrete and user issue. If you've enjoyed this video and found it informative, please like it, and also subscribe. There will be a lot more content coming shortly. So a couple of the issues that I have had, one is the coloring issue. Now this is something that they do disclose. So from UV damage, or UV does change the color slightly, although it does not, according to them, affect the performance, and I would have to agree. So you can get that yellowing and this is just on the outside of the garage door where it's fully exposed to the sun. This is on the second garage door opening, and on this side I do have some spalling on the concrete, and I had this before I put the coating down. However, I had sort of ground away at it with a grinder. I thought I got most of it out, but apparently not. The coating didn't do much to protect it, so if you do have these issues, this is something you're going to have to repair before applying the coating.